This worded quadratic problem is about a rectangle. So first of all, let's draw a sketch of said rectangle. Let's say this is 90 centimetres squared as per the question. And the question says that the length is 4 centimetres more than twice the width. So because the width has been defined as having a relationship to the length, we're going to use W throughout this problem, but you could use any variable. So the length, which is the longest side of the rectangle, is 2 lots of the width, twice the width, but 4 more than this. So let's have a look at the problem. We know that the length times the width is 90. So all you have to do is set up the bracket to expand and simply solve it. So we're going to have 2w times by w, which is 2w squared. And then finally, we're going to have w times 4. We're doing an eyebrow and a smile to expand the single bracket. And then in order to make this a quadratic where all the terms are on one side, we're going to move the 90 onto the other side of the equation, so it becomes minus 90. You can see now that every single term has a factor of 2, so we're going to divide everything by 2. So we're going to have w squared, 2w, and minus 45. And we don't need to factor that 2 in again later, because if we divide 0 by 2, that will also give us 0. Now we just factorise this simple equation. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to give minus 45, but add together to give 2. So we could whiz through the different options. 3 and 15 are a factor pair, but that's obviously not going to add together to give 2. We could go for 5 and 9. Now that is problematic because they don't have a difference of 2, regardless of where we put the minus sign. So we probably need to solve it using the quadratic equation. So we're going to write minus b, which is minus 2, plus or minus b squared. So b squared is going to be 4, minus 4ac, so that's going to be plus 4 lots of 45, which will be 180 divided by 2a. All we have to do then is just solve this equation. W will have to be positive, so actually we can ignore the negative value because that will give us a negative number overall. So it's going to be minus 2 plus the square root of 184 divided by 2. So typing this into the calculator, we are going to have the following: minus 2 plus the square root of 184, and the answer to that all divided by 2. So we're simply going to get an answer of 5.78, and then you can substitute that back into the original equation to see if this relationship still holds true. So if we take 5.78 and then we multiply that by 2 and we add 4, that should give us the length. And then if we multiply that by the width, which we got as 5.78, but if we write it to a few more decimal places as well, we should get roughly 90 centimetres squared, which we do. So to finish off the problem, we are going to write down the answer to this quadratic formula, which is 5.78 to 2 decimal places, and so that we have the width is 5.78, and then the length is 5.78 times 2 plus 4. And last but not least, make sure we put the dimensions as centimetres.